Get ready to make a garlic jar. Hi, Marie here. Welcome to Pottery Crafters. You found video number 7 in our Beginner Pottery Wheel project series. Today you're going to learn how to throw, decorate, and glaze a garlic jar. And yes, at the end of the video, you'll see the finished piece. If you like what you see, please like the video. And if you want to support me or see new videos, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get a notification whenever I upload a video. Before we get started, here's a list of tools and supplies I use to make the garlic jar, which will also be down below in the show notes along with any other important information I may talk about throughout the video. The tools and supplies listed are only recommendations and items I use on a daily basis. I'll be starting with the clay already centered, so if you're having any problems centering your clay, you can check out my video up above. With that said, enjoy the video and make sure you stay to the end to see the finished piece. Let's get started. I'm starting with a pound of Amico Stoneware 46 buff clay to make the jar. When pushing down to open the center of the clay, you want to keep your anchor hand on the outside to brace your clay. Stop to check the thickness of your clay with a needle tool. It's better to check the thickness of your clay several times than it is to go down too far and not have enough clay on the bottom. I'm checking again. Around 1/3 of an inch on the bottom is good. While bracing the outside with your anchor hand, you want to push outward on the inside until the base of the garlic jar is the width you want it to be. Once you have the width of your base, you can start to bring up the walls. Anchoring your left thumb on your right hand helps to keep the pressure of your fingers consistent and the thickness of the sides even throughout your piece. While you bring up the walls, you want to make sure you leave enough extra clay on the rim to make the gallery for your lid. I'm pushing outward with my sponge and bracing the outside with the soft red rib to bring out the walls. Cone in the rim and make the gallery. To make the gallery, place your left thumb on the outside of the rim, your index finger on the top inside of the rim, and your middle finger on the inside just below the rim. Use your right index finger and middle finger to help brace the outside of the rim. I use the nail of my left index finger to make the rim of the gallery. Cone in the rim and smooth out the gallery if needed. Before setting the jar aside, measure the inside and outside of your gallery with your calipers, where the lid is going to rest. A ruler will do if you have no calipers. This must be done right away because as the jar dries, the gallery shrinks and you will not get an accurate fit with your lid. I'm making a nice foot with the ultimate edger and setting the jar aside. Use 8 ounces of clay to make your lid. Open up the center about a ½ inch down. Press the clay outward and measure the lip of the inside of your lid. After pushing the lid inward to the right size, I'm forming the rim of the lid. After it's leather hard, trim the extra clay away before removing it from the bat. This makes it easier to trim once it's removed from the bat. Once removed, I'm flipping it over onto the Giffen grip and removing the rest of the extra clay. Hold the loop tool steady with both hands and anchor your arms so the loop tool doesn't jump around and make an uneven trim. After removing the desired amount of clay off the top, set the lid aside. Once the jar is leather hard, it's time to make some air holes for the garlic so it can breathe. I'm using the Kemper circle-shaped clay cutter to make the holes. After the holes are made, set the jar aside to dry and attach the handle to the lid. I'm using the clay extruder with the large hole die. You can also roll out the clay with your fingers. Make the handle large enough to make room for shrinkage. Then cut off the extra clay with your potter's knife. It's always best to score and slip both the lid and the handle to ensure the clay bonds well together. Once the garlic jar and lid are bone dry, into my scut kiln it goes for a cone 04 bisque firing. It's important to wash with a damp sponge before glazing to ensure all the dirt and other particles are off, so the glaze can bond nicely to the lid and the jar. Brush on wax resist wherever you don't want the glaze to stick. After the jar and lid are dry from the wash and wax, I'm pouring Amico obsidian on the inside and outside of the garlic jar. Then dipping the lid in the obsidian. Get the extra glaze out of the gallery. Then sponge off any extra glaze on the lip of the lid. Then brush obsidian on the foot with the transom detail brush. After the obsidian is dry, dip the handle of the lid in the Spectrum Pearl White. Then do the same with the jar, dipping the rim about 1/4 of an inch down. Again, make sure you get the extra glaze out of the gallery or the lid will not fit properly. I'm sponging off any extra glaze on the bottom and allowing the garlic jar to totally dry, then placing the lid next to the jar in my scut kiln for a final firing at cone 5. Here's the finished garlic jar. I really like the lid. And the handle turned out really good. I'm very happy with this garlic jar. The pearl white spectrum melted nicely on the obsidian. What do you think? If you have any questions, comments, or even ideas for future videos, feel free to post those in the comments section below. Some of the best tips and feedback come from you. Also in the comments section are more show notes and pottery making info. I hope you've learned a thing or two to make your own garlic jar. Check out my other videos from Pottery Crafters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified when a new video comes out. I'll see you in the next video.